All right. Ready to dive into something a little different.
Ooh, I like this different. Lay it on me.
We're going deep on romance novels.
Okay.
But stick with me here.
All right.
We're using them to uncover some truths about, well, real relationships.
Right.
Our source material, Lyssa K. Adams' Bromance Book Club series.
Okay, I'm familiar.
It's about a group of guys using, get this, romance novels to navigate their own love lives.
No, that's a twist. I mean, who'd have thought, right?
Exactly.
Although when you think about it,
Yeah.
there's actually a lot we can learn from these books.
Even though they're fictional.
Even then, yeah. Adams is clever, you see. She uses this men's book club as a way to explore those relationship dynamics and challenges.
The ones we all face.
Pretty much.
Okay, so we're not just talking about the happily ever afters then.
Not just, no. We're going deeper.
Got it.
These guys, we're talking pro athletes, a hacker, the whole gamut. They're dealing with some serious stuff.
Like what?
Miscommunication, insecurity,
Oh,
fear of vulnerability.
real life stuff.
Exactly.
And what I find really interesting is how skeptical they are at first.
Oh, absolutely.
Like Gavin, whose marriage is falling apart.
Oh, right. Got it.
He's literally asking, is this a joke?
That's so relatable, though.
That is.
We might think romance novels are all fluff,
Right.
but they often touch on those universal themes.
The ones that resonate with anyone who's ever been in a relationship.
You got it.
Like what?
Think communication breakdowns,
Uh-huh.
emotional distance, that struggle to balance your own needs with your partner's.
Oh, yeah. We've all been there.
We grapple with these things.
Yeah.
And romance novels, well, they can offer a new way of looking at it all.
A framework, almost.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, so let's jump into Gavin and Thea's story.
Right.
Thea's an artist, and she's reached her limit with Gavin's emotional unavailability.
Right.
He's moved out,
Right.
and she's literally taking a sledgehammer to the walls of their house
Whoa, hold on.
Yeah.
A sledgehammer?
to create an art studio.
Wow, that's powerful imagery.
It is, right?
Definitely.
What do you think it says about Thea's state of mind?
Well, I'd say she's reclaiming her space, her independence.
You think?
Yeah, she's breaking down those walls, literally.
Yeah.
The ones that have been suffocating her.
Both physically and emotionally.
I think so.
I think anyone who's ever felt stifled in a relationship can relate to that.
Oh, absolutely.
That need to, create some space for yourself.
Yeah.
Rediscover your own voice.
Exactly.
Have you ever felt that way in a relationship? Like needing to step back to reevaluate things?
Oh, we've all been there at some point.
And for Gavin, the book club, well, it becomes his way of understanding what went wrong.
I see.
It's not just about winning Thea back. It's
Yeah.
about him confronting his insecurities and learning how to actually listen to her.
Wow.
One of the key takeaways for me from Gavin's story is that self-awareness piece.
It's huge, isn't it?
It is.
The books he reads,
Yeah.
they help him see how his past, his baggage,
Mm-hmm.
it's all influencing his behavior.
He starts to see that his fear of being vulnerable
Yeah.
is actually pushing Thea away.
It's a common pattern, unfortunately.
It is, isn't it?
We build up these walls.
To protect ourselves.
Of course, but then we block out true intimacy.
It's like that saying, you can't love someone else until you love yourself.
It's so true.
And Gavin, he has to do that inner work, that self-reflection,
Yeah.
before he can even begin to fix things with Thea.
Right.
And the books, they give him a language for his emotions,
Ooh, interesting.
something he's always struggled with.
I see.
He starts using phrases from the novels
Right.
like, I want to make this right, or I'm fighting for us.
Oh.
They might seem cheesy,
Sure.
but for him,
Yeah.
they're a huge step forward in terms of
Emotional vulnerability.
I can see that. It's like the books are giving him a script,
The script.
a way to articulate what he's feeling.
That's a great way to put it.
Speaking of scripts,
Okay.
let's move on to Mac and Liv.
All right.
Liv is this strong, independent woman dealing with a workplace harasser.
Ugh, I hate those stories.
I know.
But go on.
Mac, the supposed romance expert,
Ah.
he ends up helping her.
Really?
Yeah, through this elaborate plan.
No.
They call it undercover bromance.
Undercover bromance. Okay, I'm intrigued.
It's a bit out there.
How so?
Well, Mac basically pretends to be romantically interested in the harasser.
Whoa, hold on.
Yeah.
To gather evidence.
Exactly.
Wow, that's,
It's something else, right?
it is.
But it shows how willing he is to support Liv in a way that respects her, her need for independence.
That's important.
He realizes those grand romantic gestures,
Yeah,
they're meaningless if they don't respect her need for agency.
that's a good point. It's a reminder that support shouldn't be a one-size-fits-all kind of thing.
Exactly.
We need to understand what our partners need and adjust accordingly.
Sometimes that means stepping back, letting them handle things.
And sometimes it means stepping up and offering a different kind of support.
Have you seen that in your own relationships? That need to adjust your approach?
Oh, absolutely.
How so?
Well, we all have different strengths and vulnerabilities.
Right.
We bring those to our relationships. Learning to recognize and appreciate those differences is key.
So in Mac and Liv's case, she's more guarded.
At him.
Yeah. Hesitant to open up.
Okay.
And Mac has to learn to respect that.
To be patient.
To understand that her strength, her independence, that's what makes her amazing.
I love that. They're both challenging each other to grow in ways that wouldn't be possible on their own.
Now, let's talk about Noah, the hacker who gets dragged kicking and screaming into the book club.
I remember him.
He's head over heels for this woman, Alexis.
Right, Alexis.
But his own baggage, his past mistakes, they're preventing him from really connecting with her.
What do you think's holding him back?
Well, I think Noah represents a certain type of masculinity that struggles with vulnerability.
You think so?
He's brilliant, successful, but emotionally closed off.
Interesting.
He's built those walls.
To protect himself.
Yeah, from getting hurt. And as a result, he can't fully let Alexis in.
That makes sense.
The book club forces him to confront these feelings.
The uncomfortable ones.
Exactly. And to realize that connection requires, letting go, control, taking a risk, allowing himself to be vulnerable.
And how does he handle that?
It's hilarious to watch him squirm through those romance novels. He's like, this is ridiculous. This would never happen in real life.
But deep down,
I think he's starting to realize that maybe, just maybe, there's something to be learned from these stories.
I think we all can, honestly.
And what's fascinating is that Noah's journey, it's not just about romantic love.
No.
It's about learning to connect with people, period.
On a deeper level.
Exactly, to build those meaningful relationships.
With friends, family, whoever.
It's about recognizing that we all crave connection.
That we all need to feel seen.
Understand.
And sometimes the most unexpected places can teach us how to do that.
Okay, let's move on to Vlad and Elena.
Yeah.
He's a Russian hockey player, and she's his estranged wife.
Estranged. Oh, that's rough.
It is.
What's going on with them?
They're dealing with a lot of cultural differences.
I see.
Miscommunication. And Vlad's struggle to adapt to life outside of hockey.
Makes sense.
Their story, it brings up something a lot of couples can relate to, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Navigating those cultural differences, the different expectations. How do those differences play into their communication breakdowns?
That's a great question.
And what role does the book club play in bridging that gap? Between Vlad and Elena?
Well, you have to consider Vlad's upbringing in Russia.
Okay.
It shaped his views on relationships and how you communicate in them. And those views, they don't always line up with Elena's perspective.
Which is more?
More American, more independent.
Got it.
He's used to keeping his emotions in check.
Yeah, that's stoicism.
Exactly.
But the books, they're encouraging him to open up.
To express his feelings.
To be more vulnerable.
So it's like he's learning a new language. Almost.
Not just the words, but the emotional language.
Oh, I see.
How does that impact their relationship, that shift?
It's huge, a real game changer.
How so?
As Vlad gets more comfortable expressing himself, he connects with Elena on a whole other level. Wow. He starts to understand her needs, her fears.
And
she sees him differently.
Not just the hockey player.
No, she sees the man beneath.
The one who's capable of empathy, vulnerability.
It's a beautiful reminder that the biggest barrier to intimacy can be our own fear.
Our fear of opening up.
Exactly.
Speaking of vulnerability, let's talk about Colton and Gretchen.
All right, what about them?
He's a country music star. She's an immigration lawyer.
Interesting combo.
And he is terrified of commitment.
Terrified? Why do you think that is?
Well, I think it's a few things.
Wow.
Past heartbreak, for one.
Makes sense.
And the pressure of his public image.
That whole carefree playboy persona.
Yeah, he's afraid that if he lets his guard down, if he falls in love, he'll lose that image.
And lose himself in the process.
In a way, yeah.
That's ironic, isn't it?
What is?
He's surrounded by adoring fans.
Right.
But he's still so afraid of being truly seen.
No.
How does Gretchen handle that?
She challenges him.
To do what?
To step outside that comfort zone.
Okay, how?
She's a force, Gretchen.
I can imagine.
Strong, independent. She sees right through his facade.
And she challenges him to be. authentic.
Yeah.
To face his fears.
To be vulnerable.
It's like she's holding up a mirror.
A mirror.
Saying, this is who you are. Be brave enough to embrace it.
Wow.
And how does he respond?
It's a struggle, definitely.
Understandably so.
He's used to hiding.
But Gretchen.
Yeah.
She believes in him.
Even when he doesn't believe in himself. It's her willingness to see the good that breaks through his defenses.
That's powerful.
It is.
Sometimes the love we need most is the love that sees us for who we truly are.
Flaws and all.
A whole package.
And sometimes that love comes from the most unexpected places.
Like a men's book club.
Exactly.
I'd love to hear your thoughts on all of this so far.
What stands out to you about these couples?
What about their journeys?
Has anything resonated with your own experiences?
You know, what I find fascinating is how each of these couples, despite their different challenges,
their personalities, they demonstrate the power of vulnerability.
They all start out scared,
holding back,
protecting themselves from getting hurt.
But through the book club and the wisdom they get from the novels, they learn to let go
of those fears.
Yeah.
And to embrace the messiness of love.
The beauty of it.
The complicated reality of it all.
And they learned that vulnerability, it's not a weakness.
No.
It's a superpower.
How so?
It's the key to deeper intimacy.
Okay.
Stronger connections.
To more fulfilling relationships.
And speaking of connections, I think it's important to note that the women in these stories, they're not just passive love interests.
Right.
They're dynamic.
They have their own passion.
Ambitions.
What are your thoughts on how they're portrayed?
I think it's refreshing, honestly, to see female characters who are so well developed.
So multifaceted.
Exactly.
They're on their own journeys.
Alongside the men.
Yeah, their own journeys of self-discovery and growth.
Take Thea, for example.
Okay.
Talented artist.
Right.
Refuses to let her dreams be overshadowed.
By her relationship.
Exactly.
And live.
Yeah.
She's fiercely independent.
Prioritizes her career.
Her growth.
They're strong, capable women.
Inspiring the men to be better.
I like that.
It's a far cry from that damsel in distress trope.
Oh, absolutely.
These women aren't waiting to be rescued.
They're saving themselves.
And in some cases, they're saving the men, too.
Wow, that's quite a role reversal.
And it's not just the romantic relationships either.
No.
It's the friendships,
the brotherhood.
That support system.
How do you think those dynamics contribute to their growth?
Well, the book club.
It becomes a safe space for the guys to be vulnerable.
Okay.
To share their fears, their doubts, their wins.
They hold each other accountable.
They challenge each other.
It's a reminder that we all need those kinds of connections.
People we can be ourselves with, who cheer us on.
And call us out when we need it.
And sometimes those people come from the most unexpected places.
Like a group of guys bonding over romance novels.
Exactly. It's a reminder that growth and connection, they can happen anywhere.
Anytime.
If we're open to it.
That's a good point.
Now, I want to talk about a common thread I've noticed.
Okay, what is it?
It seems like the books themselves,
Yeah.
They act as a catalyst.
A catalyst for?
Self-reflection, behavior change.
Interesting.
The guys aren't just mimicking the characters.
No.
But the stories. They're prompting them to examine their own beliefs, their motivations.
What do you think it is about these stories that sparks that?
That introspection. Well, I think it's the relatable characters.
Okay.
And those emotionally charged situations. They tap into those universal themes, you know, like love, loss, betrayal, forgiveness, redemption.
Heavy stuff.
They provide a framework for understanding those complex emotions, relationship dynamics.
Okay.
And they offer a glimpse into what healthy relationships can look like.
The possibilities.
It's like holding up a mirror.
To your own life?
Seeing things from a new perspective.
That's a great analogy.
And it's not just romantic relationships either.
Yeah.
These guys are learning to be better fathers.
Friends.
Sons, brothers.
They're challenging that whole toxic masculinity thing.
Embracing vulnerability.
Supporting each other.
It's about recognizing that real strength comes from connection.
From expressing your needs.
From being present.
And sometimes the most unlikely sources can teach us those lessons.
Now, I want to be clear.
Okay.
We're not saying everyone needs to join a romance book club or that reading these books will magically fix everything.
But what this series shows us is the power of storytelling. The importance of communication.
And the potential of vulnerability.
To transform us, you mean?
Yeah, to transform us. It's like these fictional stories that give us a new lens.
To view our own relationships.
Yeah.
I think there's that element of safety.
Safety. How so?
Well, we explore these things, these challenges, through the characters. Without feeling like, exposed.
They're judged.
Exactly.
Right. It allows for some distance, some emotional distance.
But it still makes you think, ever done that?
Or, I wonder if my partner feels that way.
It can be really insightful.
And it's not just about the negative stuff, right?
No.
We also see positive examples. Communication, empathy, how to handle conflicts.
We can learn from how those characters navigate it all.
So what does this all mean for our listeners? Should we all be rushing out to buy romance novels now?
Well, I wouldn't say it's a prescription, but there's value in being open.
Yeah.
To different kinds of stories.
And the wisdom they might have.
Whether it's romance, sci-fi, whatever speaks to you, pay attention to the relationships, the communication styles.
How they handle conflict.
You might be surprised by what you learn.
And how it connects with your own life, right?
Absolutely.
Have you ever had that experience where a book or movie sparked a realization about your own relationships?
Oh, for sure.
No.
Tell me about it.
Well, sometimes the stories, they just hit a little too close to home,
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And they get you thinking.
Well, as we wrap up our deep dive into the Bromance Book Club,
and all the unexpected lessons it offers,
we want to leave you with something to think about.
All right, I'm listening.
Could exploring different stories through books, movies, even video games help you see your own relationships differently?
That's a great question.
Could they spark new conversations, inspire new ways of communicating, or just offer a moment of shared laughter and connection?
And even if you don't have any big revelations, you might discover a new favorite author or genre along the way.
That's the beauty of exploration.
It is.
You never know what she'll find.
So keep exploring, keep learning, and keep those conversations going.
Because sometimes the most profound insights come from the most unexpected sources.
That's so true. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, everyone. We'll see you next time.